What's good, YouTube? My name is Akila Mac, and yes, I am hacking Legit Big Dreams channel. Today I have another reaction video for you guys. It is Larry Bird. Before we get into it, I would like to say happy birthday to Larry Bird. Larry Bird gang, this one is for y'all, and this is also for Larry Bird. Again, happy birthday. And like I say, I am hacking Legit Big Dream channel, so if y'all want to subscribe to my channel, link will be pinned down in the description to check out my channel. But like I said, this is Larry Bird's greatest story told by NBA players and legends part 1. So if y'all want to see part 2, go subscribe to my channel. I will be dropping part 2 on my channel. Like I said, go subscribe to my channel. Also, like this video. Also, comment down below what y'all think of this video once y'all finish watching it. Also, y'all can comment while y'all watching it as well. Doesn't matter. So before we get into it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Also subscribe to my channel, which is Akila Mac. And don't forget to press that push bell notification so you can get notified of when we drop new content. And without further ado, let's just get right into it, because I'm very anxious to see, because y'all know Larry Bird is like one of the greatest, and it's his birthday today. So like, let's just see what part 1 is talking about. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the complete collection of Larry Bird's greatest stories. The first episode of this series was an episode on Kobe Bryant, the complete collection of Kobe Bryant's greatest stories. If you haven't seen it or you did miss the upload, feel free to watch it on the channel. But the amount of support on that video was incredible, and I really just want to thank all of you guys for that support. Kobe was someone who meant a lot to me, as he did for, I'm sure, all of you guys too. And hopefully that video did him justice. Today we're looking at Larry Bird's greatest stories. And because these videos take such a long time to make, the only thing that I ask is that if you enjoy this video, you can please hit that like button, subscribe if you do enjoy the videos because it does help my channel out, and also comment down below who would you like to see for episode 3. We've done Kobe, this is Larry Bird, which player should I do next? Without further ado, welcome to the complete collection of Larry Bird's greatest stories.
Well, you had the Bird night.
I had the Bird night. That was a tough night, man.
And he would tell you to play and catch it over there and shoot it.
Larry Bird, he was not a nice guy.
He talked to everybody. He was talking trash all the time, man. But fun.
And they called a timeout, and he turned around and looked at me and said, "I'm gonna score right here on you."
I'm gonna stop it right there. I like that after all those years that they still honor this man with so much respect. It's like a badge of honor, to be honest. Like, to have your own Larry Bird story is insane. Like, his hard works and everything allowed him to call his shots. Like, it's very much appreciated. Like, I wish that, you know, I was in his era, because like I would have loved him as a kid. I know it. That entire era of NBA like hoops was epic. Like, his career should have been longer, but due to some things, you know, things happen. But what a career he had. Like, he had an amazing career. Like, who can top Larry Bird? Let's just get back into it.
He came back out and hit about 10 in a row on me, and the last one was left-handed, and he asked me if my mother was watching.
It just came out.
And we never shook hands for 13 years.
All right.
Well, you had the Bird night.
I had the Bird night. That was a tough night, man. You know, the biggest argument that night is well, you only scored 6 on me.
Nobody was guarding Bird, were they?
Well, we were trying.
You were trying to.
No, but when a guy is literally coming up the court,
confidence crazy out the roof.
And you know, Bird talked a lot of trash.
And that's in New Orleans.
That's in New Orleans.
You were playing the Hawks, and it was one of those times they were playing some home games down in New Orleans.
In New Orleans, I'll never forget that game. He was so hot.
On a neutral site, and I know that Larry was always telling the ball boys, hey, go find out the scoring record. As he was getting taped on the tape table, he would always say, hey, go find out the scoring record.
I'm gonna stop it right there. You knew it was something special. The fact that this man could shoot with his left hand, he had the ability to shoot with either hand, that's simply amazing. it's amazing. And like I just would like to take a moment to acknowledge the fact that how this man is just different, and he's built different for a reason. Like Bird, he was a master on the court, literally. Like he could do it all. He could score like a machine, rebound, and insanely good passes. But the psychological warfare is what truly, like, I believe is what truly made him like one of the greatest of all time. Like he had ice water in his veins, y'all. Literally, this man did everything amazing. Like if I was in his era, y'all, I feel like I would not lose interest in basketball. How I lose interest in basketball now, cause it's different. And I'm saying it's different because of what I see now of the old era, what I see now, and you know what we have in this generation is very different. Like the vibe is different. It's not so much it wasn't so much chaos in that era. In this generation, it's just like everybody gotta be better than everybody. And it's just like why can't we all just like, what's the word, evolve? Let's just get back into it.
Something special, even as a player, and that usually doesn't happen, but we're down so much at the time. You had time to realize the game.
We're on the free throw line, and he's like, he literally says,
like he's
left
playing a game.
over across the three, and you're listening to him. That's a tough feeling.
Yeah, that was the one game that I think he tortured Dominique. He saw Dominique, this up-and-coming player, and he just tortured him mentally. That game, he tortured all of them.
I mean, it was mind.
I think Bird
He
went by
fell
the bench
in
one
the
time
bench.
too.
He fell in the bench.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, and he called that one. That was the one where he fell in the. He literally said, off the glass into the trainer. And, yeah, and so it was a bad night.
And it's going to be a three, and it's going to be awful decent. Then he said, "Who wants it?"
Not for
and
sure.
I think Ricky Brown, I'm not for sure who it was, ran out after him, and he shot this high rainbow. It goes in. Ricky bumps into him and accidentally knocks him on our trainer's lap. So it was exactly what he said.
Antoine Carr and Cliff Levingston got fined by Fratello, I think.
And Eddie Johnson for celebrating.
Man, Bird was 100% in all the time. This man was 100% in.
It was the greatest film session ever, because back then you didn't have, you watched the real game. And
1988.
With a video, and Mike rewound the celebration 20 times. He just kept, not the shot, he just kept rewinding it, showing the guys, you remember, they're giving each other high five.
And then somebody falls off the bench,
too.
that
was Eddie Johnson. Eddie Johnson falls off the bench and
entertained.
I mean, everybody was entertained by this. Even the guys on the Atlanta bench.
I ain't gonna lie, I kind of seen some of this footage already. It's like everybody used the same footage.
You see Scotty Hastings put them, Now watch Cliff Levingston. Come over here. I think this is Cliff.
That man.
And our film session was 20 minutes of that.
Larry, put on a show that night, and I mean, just to get the whole Atlanta bench going crazy on some of the shots that he was making down the stretch is a pretty good indication. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before.
And we never shook hands for 13 years.
You at the three-point competition, walking in the locker room, who's playing? Did you really say that? Who's playing for second?
Yeah, I did. I was so bad.
Yeah, when you walked in and asked who was going to get second place in the three-point contest.
He already knew he was going to be first.
What were you thinking when you made that announcement to the room? Just messing with all those guys like you always did with everybody?
Just getting in the head.
I never really practiced. Me and Danny used to shoot some before we went out there. Everybody's sitting there. Everybody's real quiet. You really didn't. You knew the guys, but you never were around them.
Three-point contest at the All-Star break, and Larry walks in and says, "I hope all you guys in here are thinking about second place because I'm winning this."
Like, really?
Excuse me?
Who were some of the guys in the competition at that time when you walked in? Who was in that field?
I'm gonna stop it right there. They must have all just knew that Larry Bird was just telling the truth. Like, he was just saying, like, so, who's gonna win second? Because Larry said he was gonna be first, and I'm just like, They must have just all knew that Larry was the one, and they knew like nobody could guard this man or touch this man, literally. So it amazes me that all these old basketball players are showing this man so much love. Like, he deserves it all, and I like that all these NBA players are just giving this man his flowers, like, since Ben, which is really surprising because not too many people get their flowers. So this man is getting his flowers. This man has been getting his flowers. I just feel like this man hasn't, well, I haven't heard of him since, what, this is finna be a year and a half since I heard of Larry Bird, or maybe 2 years. I don't know. But this man deserves to be heard in so many other eras, so many other places, and happy birthday. Let's just get back into it.
Come on, Coach, you know.
No, I don't really remember.
Dale Ellis.
Yeah, Dale. What's
Hodges.
The kid that's Yeah, Hodges.
Leon Wood.
Okay, they can remember all that. That must have been good memories.
It was a great three-point shooter. Larry Bird comes in last.
And nobody's really saying anything, so I walk in and look around, and it just came out.
He says,
"Who's coming in second?" You already know who's going to win this.
Wow.
It was so quiet. And after that, I said, oh, man, these guys ain't got no chance.
And I got lucky because I almost got beat in the first round.
But what was the reaction after you said that? Like, oh, that's just Larry Legend, or did it get dead silence in there?
It was silence. I think they were a little nervous.
They was nervous.
I think they were
Hell
nervous.
yeah.
I had no clue I was going to win it. But, you know, that's just part of the competition.
There you see Larry finishing
Look
off. Look
at
at that
that.
smooth rhythm. The shot, one step back, pick it up, the shot. Back and forth. He is like a machine. And the results
machine
are
that
almost
don't
like a
stop.
machine.
He ain't took off his top yet. I didn't see when he took off his top. I tell you, it's hard to shoot out the bird just made 23.
And then the walk off with your hand up. I mean, come on, Coach. Come on.
Well, I was struggling in that final round in Chicago.
23.
And I just got hot there the last 2.5 racks. You know, when you're shooting them, you don't know what the score is.
Right.
But I had a feeling by the way the crowd was going, I had to make the last one. And when I let it go, I felt it. You know, sometimes you shoot them, you think they're going in, they don't. But that one there looked perfect all the way. So if it would have bounced out, I would have felt like an idiot.
Well,
but it went in, I got lucky, and got the check, and went home.
Time to go.
Larry Bird at the buzzer with the two-point ball. 17 to 15. Defends the long-distance shootout crowd at
Welcome to the legendary.
He and Ainge, I think, were both in the three-point contest together. And Larry won the contest, and then
He's
one
legendary.
day we got on the bus, and we were on the bus for a few minutes, and Larry said to Ainge, he goes, "Hey, Danny," and Danny goes, "Yeah, Larry." He goes, "Who's the three-point king?" You know.
Larry Bird, he was not a nice guy.
Back
Bro.
when we flew commercial, we didn't fly private.
I
we
love
played
these
a
videos,
Tuesday night
bro.
game in Cleveland.
Matter of fact, there was one game in Cleveland.
In Cleveland, and he told me where he was going and where he was going to shoot.
Nah, I won't hear about it.
Okay.
I won't hear about it.
It was 91, 92 season, and we was playing the Boston Celtics. It was Bird, McHale, Parrish, the great three, Ainge, and we was up 1. Okay.
Where he was having a pretty rough first half, and in the old days in Cleveland, you walked off the court the same way at halftime, and I kind of puffed up on him and walked beside him and was like, "Yeah, you're 1 for 10." I was like, "That's defense, you know," and he just kind of looked at me and said, "There's 2 halves," and he came back out and hit about 10 in a row on me.
And we was up
10.
1. Okay. He
All right,
said,
that was the point.
"Who's guarding me?" As we come out of timeout. Now remember, I'm a rookie because Price is out because he hurt.
Right.
He says, "Who's guarding me?" I says, "Craig Elo." He says, "Why you got that white boy on me?"
Ew, this man was not playing.
He said that was the most.
Now remember, Larry Bird is white.
Right.
and the last one was left-handed, and he asked me if my mother was watching.
I think the story that sums up Larry the best was we had a game on Wednesday night in New Jersey. Snowstorm hits Cleveland. We're at the airport at 7 in the morning. Flight's canceled at 7. It's canceled at 8. It's canceled at 9. It's canceled at 10. Canceled at 11, 12. We finally leave about 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon. We fly up to New Jersey. Now the storm has kind of moved into Jersey. And the bus driver says, well, I can't get to the hotel into the arena. I can only go to one place. Well, we had a game that night. We go to the arena. So we get to the arena, and I mean, we're dragging. And we're sitting around the locker room, and, and everybody's kind of, we're tired, and, and all of a sudden, the coach gives a little bit of a speech. Come on, man, guys, we're playing basketball. Let's get ready to go. And Larry stands up, and Larry says, a couple other few choice words, and he says, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to take it out on their rear ends. So I was like, oh, all right, so let's go. So we go on the floor. Albert King sitting there, and Larry walks up to Albert King and goes, don't take this butt whooping personally. I've been eating hot dogs all day. And then Albert King looks at him like, you've been eating hot dogs all day? What's that got to do with me? And we went out and just hammered him. I mean, we terrorized them. And that was Larry.
He probably thought that man was going to be out of shape.
And I tell you, that was just his competitive nature. But a day when you fly all day and eat hot dogs in the airport, best thing was Albert's look on his face like, what hot dogs got to do with me?
I still love the Xavier McDaniel story.
Anybody better than Larry Bird?
No, Larry's probably the best trash talker. You know the best thing about Larry now? He's so buttoned down now. He's just like, I didn't do that. Man, that guy lies. He was the best trash talker, and he denies everything.
Can you tell a Larry story? I haven't heard much of him. Any stories about him talking trash, and he's so quiet.
Yes,
just every other time, and I never got to play on the court or see. But can you tell a story like?
Oh, well, I'd say there's a million of them, but one of my favorite ones is we're playing Phoenix and we're way ahead. Okay,
it's Chris Bosh even still playing ball.
Suns, and we're down in the old Saddle Dome that they had outside.
Right.
And Larry, we're playing good as a team. Larry has the worst fourth quarter known to man. I mean, he's throwing the ball to the other team. I'm like, good Lord, we had like a 15-point lead. Next thing you know, we're down 2. And I'm like, how in the world are we going to lose this game?
So we have a play, out of bounds play. I'm taking it out, and Larry says, I'm going to bust off the play, and I'm just going to come out, and I'm going to shoot a 3. And I'm like,
and Larry says, I'm going to bust the play. I'm going to shoot a 3. And I'm like, Bertie, it's just getting to overtime. I'm going to Robert. Robert, we need to get into overtime, man. We're trying to get this ship right because we're sinking, man.
Celtics are down by 2 points, and Bird is out by the 3-point line, and he's being guarded by a guy named Johnny High. And
this
Johnny High is sort of backing away from Bird.
Smart.
And Bird said, hey, Johnny, you better come up and guard me a little closer. I'm just going to get the ball and shoot a 3, and game's over.
Larry not only tells me that, he walked by the bench and says, typical Birdie, just real slow.
So he tells the Phoenix bench, he tells the coaches, yeah, I'm just fixing to bust a 3 on you guys and just go home. I'm tired of this.
Fixing to bust a 3 on your guys and go home.
And, Johnny High sort of smiles and laughs about it.
And so he breaks the play.
And then the ball comes into Bird. He just turns around and shoots a perfect 3.
Shoots the ball. As the ball's in the air, he
nice
turns towards the Phoenix bench and yells, told you so. He stops running to the locker room.
Larry hits it.
Dude got up quick.
Told you so.
Dude got up quick. He was like, okay, that's my cue.
Shoulder, and he goes, Johnny, I told you to come out and guard me.
That was Birdie. And he had the confidence, man. That dude had so much confidence. He talked to the coaches. He talked to everybody. He was talking trash all the time, man. But fun. Great competitor, man.
And I just started laughing. I was like, oh, man. It's just one of those ones where he just kind of, he has such supreme confidence. And
Look at it.
That's the one when you were back in and Larry went in and said, well, I won the game in the first 3 quarters, and I lost it in the 3rd quarter.
And man got up real quick.
At the end, he goes, my record tonight is 2-1. We all just kind of laughed.
Bird used to tell people, I remember he told me a story about Xavier McDaniel. He said,
X-Man, yeah.
X, I'm going to get the ball right here. I'm going to shoot a jumper right in your face.
It was a tie game. They had the ball, and DJ was stalling the basketball. And Larry was kind of standing outside behind him, denying him the ball. And they called a timeout, and he turned around and looked at me and said, I'm going to score right here on you. And I said, I know you will. I'll be ready.
Oh, be ready.
13 seconds to play. Celtics
You let that man take your ball, Larry?
During the timeout, I'm going through a play, and about that time, Larry steps in and says, Coach, why don't you just give me the ball and tell everybody to get out of the way? That's Larry. And when he wants the ball, he wants the ball. After the timeout, we walked back on the court, and then Xavier was guarding him. So he tells Xavier, he says, I'm getting the ball.
And Larry said, I'm going to get it right here, Ed, and I'm going to shoot it in your face. He hit it, he looked at me, and he was like, damn. I didn't mean to leave nothing on the clock.
And shot a shot right in my face.
I just looked back, and the ball just went in. Hit all net. And he said, I told you so.
And, you know, he was like, I didn't mean to leave 2 seconds on the clock. He wanted to shoot it with 0 seconds on the clock. I walked back to the sideline like, damn.
A lot of people don't know this. You probably know this, Dan, but Larry Bird was one of the biggest trash talkers in basketball. And a lot of people say, really?
He bagged that up, though.
Reggie or Charles. Larry Bird talked more trash on the basketball court than anybody I've ever played against. And he told me two things one game. You know, our rotations, double teaming, Kevin McHale always had to rotate to the corner, and Larry Bird was the one shooting. You know, so he shot one, and I mean, I'm trying to block this shot, and he would just tell me, Scott, you're a little too late. You know, a little too late. So we
gotta
playing
be quicker.
In the last play, he says to James Worthy, he says, you guys don't have to worry about it. I'm going to go right over that corner. He said, they're going to set a screen for me. We're taking the ball out. He said, I'm going to curl right over. And he's telling us to play. He's telling us to play before they even take it out. He said, I'm going to go right over to that corner, and I'm going to catch it, and I'm going to shoot it, and I'm going to tie the game or win the game, whatever the case may be.
And he meant that.
They take the ball out, and I think it was either Danny or
DJ?
The late, great DJ. Yeah. Take the ball out, man curl right to the corner, caught the shot, shot a three, game over. It's like, are you effing kidding me? This is my Larry Bird story.
Go to shake his hand. I'm a rookie playing against the Boston Celtics in the Boston Garden. Go shake, and Larry put both hands behind his back. He wouldn't shake my hand. I said, okay, he's just getting into the game.
That man conceited.
First play of the game, he said, you don't even belong in this league, Holmes. And he shoots a 3. Now, I wasn't mad that he made the 3. But I said, there's something, this called me Holmes. and he came down and did it again, so I'm pissed, you know. So the next time down, see me on the breaking that pitch, and I jump up and I throw it down on him. I mean, he fouls me. And he said, hey, Rook, I like you. You got heart. He said, I like you. You got heart. But I'm still getting 30 on you tonight. But I'm still getting 30 on your ass. I mean, that's who he was.
Didn't Bird shoot left-handed for an entire game against Portland?
Larry told all of us and the media, he said, tomorrow night's the last game of the trip. I'm going to play this one left-handed.
I remember because I was there, and it was at a time when, you know, McHale was still coming off the bench. And so he scored the first 8 points of the game left-handed, and Jerome Kersey was guarding him at the time.
Like how?
And I remember this because we had a great trash-talking team. I mean, we had ML Carr, we had McHale, we had Bird, we had.
I'm gonna stop it right there and say just this one thing. These legendary stories on Larry Bird is ridiculous. And when I say ridiculous, I mean, I can go back and watch this 1,000 times. I feel like everybody that did, I feel like everybody that do Larry Bird videos have the confidence. Like, how can one leave a guy like that out of top 10 ever? So when y'all talk about top 10, Larry Bird definitely needs to be in there. Cause this video is so great. Like, shout out to the creator too. Like, the clips speak for themselves and everything. Like, mutual respect here. Like, even like with people at the highest level of their craft. Like, this is both motivating and instructive. Like, I'm so serious, y'all. Like, I got to watch them. This is amazing. Like, So far, like I said, Larry Bird, he was a ball player. Larry Bird was just a ball player. He grew up like that, and in that time when it was just pure exhilaration, the Celtics, I believe, and I know this, they was history. They were. Even if I wasn't there, I just know that they were history. Like, but how do you go from, how many wins was it? 29 wins to 61 wins in one season. Y'all tell me how do you go from 29 to 61 in one season? I know how. Larry Bird. That's the answer. This is like, it's such a great collection, and I'm enjoying this video because he was the best and he was a fierce competitor. Like Michael, I'ma just say his last name, Mikhail. I forgot his first name, but like Mikhail said, like he was just like a fierce competitor that didn't like back down from any moment at all, and he was gonna let it be known. And he hustled his ass off, y'all, like literally hustled his ass off. Even when he was injured, he wanted to be on that court full and ready. And like I saw like the court better than anybody, like literally the man is doing. Oh, his name is Kevin McHale. I just remember Kevin. I don't know why I call him Michael, but Kevin also, he seems like an instigator, like low key, just low key an instigator. But I always felt like Mikhail and Larry was a good combination. Definitely. This is a great NBA channel. Shout out to the creator. This video was naturally edited, I can see, and well put in his time. Like he spent his time on this video. So shout out to Nick Smith NBA, and let's just get right back into this video.
You know, Ainge was a yacker. I mean, we had guys with great creativity with that, and I'll never forget it. Mikhail yells out, "Hey Jerome, wait till you start shooting right-handed." You know, I mean, but like you're talking about one of the great, obviously great players, great competitors. But Bird was a great artist too.
Who's got Larry Bird stories?
Brad Daugherty told me this story when he was like second year in the league, and they were in the playoffs against the Celtics.
A lot of stories.
Down one, Larry Bird catches the ball in the deep corner, and he steps back for a three. And before he takes the three, he's like, "Oh wow, he's going for the win. He's not going for the tie."
Larry Bird catches the ball in the corner. I take off running out at Larry Bird, and right when he's getting ready to shoot, I jump.
And he head fakes him.
And as I go by, him, he tells me, he says, "Fly, Bird."
And as he head fakes him, now it's 3-2. He hits him on the butt with the ball, and then he shoots it at the buzzer. And the confidence that hit him on the butt as he flew by him, trying to block his shot.
And I go right by him, he shoots the ball. It's nothing but nylon.
I remember the time when Larry got on the roll, started shooting the ball. He said every shot was going in.
Ooh.
Goodbye, she's gone. I guess
the man. I don't know how much I can say about this man. Y'all know.
Right, it runs by Frank Layden, who's the funniest guy in the league, and Frank is coaching. And
like,
Larry
wow.
Hey Frank, don't you have anybody on that bench who can guard me?
Nope.
He goes, so nobody out here can.
He needed some competition. No.
Beyond an acute awareness of his own commercial potential, Bird waged psychological warfare at the drop of a ball.
The '84 Olympic team is playing an exhibition game against a bunch of pros, including Larry Bird, and they were in the warm-ups. And a ball bounced down from the college end of the court to the pro end. And Michael Jordan went down to chase it. The ball happened to be picked up by Larry Bird. And Michael went up a few feet away from Larry Bird and held out his hands. And Bird took the ball and fired it back down the court over Jordan's head, as if to say, you're not only not getting this ball, I don't give a damn who you are. Larry Bird knows
I like that
exactly
little feel, so he got up in there because it's
what's going to happen
giving
the next few years. And he wants to get every edge he can get right now.
But Bird didn't talk trash to you,
Oh
did
my God, Bird talked trash to
Everybody.
everybody.
But didn't he? Did he get to a point where he had respect for you?
I always tell this story about Larry Bird. I remember him. He was cursing under his breath,
And I asked him, I said, Larry, what's going on with you? He says, you guys are being disrespectful to me. And I says, what are you talking about? He says, you guys are putting a white guy on me. That's disrespectful.
Wait, who's the white guy you put on him?
I can't remember who it was. I just started laughing. I had no comeback. But he says, it's disrespectful when y'all put a white guy on me.
Here he was out there with a quarter of black guys out there talking trash with him, and the rest of the fellas are sitting there going, hey, the boy bad, what can you say?
That's just facts, though.
I remember we were playing Washington in Washington one night, and Larry just hit what would have been the game-winning shot, but KC called timeout.
Full count. It does not count. Boston had called a timeout.
Larry came back to the bench, and he was a little upset.
He looks at the bench and says, hey guys, when I come back after timeout, I'm going to go right to the same spot.
Let go.
I'm going to kick it in.
Hustle. He told Washington, I'm going to get the ball.
2 seconds left. The Bullets by 1. Aims to Bird. He gets a good shot in the shoulder winner.
Boy, this is something else.
Incredible. And Bird wins it at the buzzer.
How many people you know would talk to the other team like this and says, I'm going to stick it in your face?
In last year's playoffs, Person was out to make Bird eat his words while adding a few choice comments of his own.
First time I touched the ball, my very first game, he said, shoot the ball, rookie. Shoot it. I said, okay, I'll shoot it. Wow, like that, and it went in. And I said, don't ever tell me to shoot the ball. I shoot it every time. And from then on, it's been a battle for the last 6 years.
Chuck Person, he definitely has his reputation. During the playoffs, he just went AWOL.
Chuck and Larry down low. Green went over once again.
Bird. Oh, he has caught fire. And look at Bird.
1990 game, the day after
Yeah, it
Christmas.
is a little special because I've known Chuck for a while, and we've always had run-ins, but it always seems like I get the last word.
Thanks.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did and you would like to help the channel out, please hit that like button to show your support. Feel free to subscribe if you enjoy these types of videos.
Alright, y'all, so that was the end of that Larry Bird video part 1. Like I said, if y'all want to see part 2, like this video and also go subscribe to my channel. It is Akila Mac, where I will be dropping part 2. Overall, I'ma just say Larry Bird, since I've been getting to know Larry Bird, I'm gonna say this: he has taught me a valuable lesson. And it can be like anything can teach you a lesson if it's knowledgeable, and I feel like Larry Bird is knowledgeable. I'm not saying he taught me a lesson in basketball, but he taught me a lesson in life. You're gonna always have to hustle for what you want and what you need. That's a good, like, inspirational message. That's what I get from Larry Bird. Every time I watch him play, he hustles for what he wants and he goes and get it. So if y'all enjoyed this reaction video, please give it a big thumbs up. Also subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to press the push bell notification so you get notified when I drop new content. Larry Bird gang, I know y'all love this video, so don't forget to check out my channel for part 2. Also, happy birthday to Larry Bird. We wish you nothing but the best of wishes on your birthday. And that is the end of my video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, like I said, on this channel and also my channel. And that is the end of my video.